The poet David Whyte wrote, "Courage is the measure of our heartfelt participation with life, with another, with a community, with a future." To be courageous is not necessarily to go anywhere or do anything except to make conscious those things we already feel deeply. The French philosopher Camus used to tell himself quietly to live to the point of tears, not as a call for maudlin sentimentality, but as an invitation to the deep privilege of belonging, in the way belonging affects us and breaks our heart at a fundamental level. Courage is what love looks like when it is tested by the simple, everyday necessities of being alive. We churchy types used to talk about finding God at church. That's where we were used to finding God, but this year, though we say we know it all the time, we're called to find God beyond the walls. Maybe I was just too busy to pay attention before. Or maybe it is that now the church is stepping up in new ways. But consider this. What if creativity is God? What if art and gardening both feed us, body and soul? Creative pursuits of all kinds explored at home. Masks are being made too, and I think maybe they save the lives of the people who make them, as well as the lives of those who wear them. That the church has prioritized making them for staff and guests at the shelters and at the group homes and for most vulnerable peoples, I think is exactly what Jesus would do. I think it's what Jesus is doing. It was ubiquitous for me before, God forgive me, but now it's not. That a body, a flesh and blood, God, child, somebody picks up my trash and recycling and brings the mail. And now we talk to each other some days. I guess I never expected that Camus' quotation would come real to me, that I would ponder the courage of the mail carrier or the guys on the trash truck. But now I get to thank them for their service. I guess maybe we always expected God to show up as usual when church itself was usual. But now church involves a phone and a computer for most people. And for those people who can't, it also involves a friend in new ways. A friend who opens the door to a sanctuary of sorts because she calls others on multiple phones and they all listen in. I imagine them all leaning in together as my scratchy old voice comes rattling out of the speakers, speaking a sermon. I hope there was something worthy of good news that I share every Sunday for them to work so hard to be at church. I am the church. You are the church. We are the church together. It's a good sentence and it made a good song. But all I can think of these days is that old scripture and how it is so true. That neither life nor death nor anything else in all the creation shall ever be able to separate us from the love of God. Even in all this, every day.